Hi, it's Hiii. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video will be very simple. It's like a basic booktube video. Here is every book I read in January, February and March. I originally wanted to do this monthly, but I've been in a bit of a reading slump, so did not read enough in January or February to do a video on it. So we're just gonna combine all 3 months. I'll tell you every book I read, my rating of them, and maybe I'll give you a little opinion or an overview of the book, something like that. I'm not sure, we'll see as we're going. For the rest of the year I'm going to try to do this monthly, so stay tuned for that. Let's get into the first book I read this year. I'm very tired. I've been at IKEA today, driving pretty far to get there. Being there is tiring, and then driving back home, and it's currently 10:42. It's pretty late. I'm tired. It's been a long day. My head kind of hurts. But we're gonna do this anyways. The first book I read, I started it November 22nd. It's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. Most people love it, but I just couldn't get through it. This is the first book I've ever DNF'd. I hate not finishing books, but I just couldn't. I got to January and I couldn't continue forcing myself to read this. I'm not even halfway through it, and I read it for 2 months, so I just gave up. I have not rated it anything because I haven't finished it, but I would probably give it a 1 star. I know that's a little controversial because most people love this and are saying so many positive things about it, but I just don't like it. I think the concept of it is a good idea, and if it was executed well, I would really enjoy it. Because the way the book is written and the way it's split between the actual plot of the book, her interviews, and you see like all that, I really enjoy that. But I just found this incredibly boring. And I really did think I was gonna love it, but I didn't. So I DNF'd it. The next book I read, I got a completely different experience with that one. That's Solitaire by Alice Oseman, the author of Heartstopper. Loved Heartstopper, so I had to read this as well. And can I just tell you, I loved this book. It was so good. I don't really know what to say about it. I don't know if I should like explain the plot, but it's basically about Tori. I think that's her name. It's been a while. I'm really bad at remembering what happens in books, but that's Charlie's sister. And this one is like an actual book, not a graphic novella, no, graphic novel, whatever it is, Heartstopper is. It's about her. She finds this note to a website, and then she goes in there and it posts a lot of different things, and it's just a bit of, it creates some, I don't know how to explain it. Things are happening in their school and people are really living, I guess. She's struggling with mental illness and she meets a boy. I love them together. They're great. They're friends. And then there's another friend from her past who's kind of like ruining things, and then there's some twists in here. Right after reading it, I gave it 5 stars. Now that I think back on it, I just don't think it's a 5 star, but 4 stars is too low. So I think I'm gonna like give it a 4.5. I guess it's still 5 stars on my Goodreads account, but it's technically, it's a 4.5. But it's just 4 is too low, so I can't give it a 4 star. I feel like I should also mention that I have kind of a new rating system this year. I've always found it very hard to rate books. So I just gave every book 5 stars for no reason, but then I read a new book and like, oh my god, this is amazing. The last book I read doesn't compare to this. So I've tried to be more strict with how I rate things. 5 stars are only for my absolute favorites. So every book that I've rated before this year, just forget about it. It's probably gonna change if I reread it. Now we're entering the 3 books I read in my celebrity recommendations video. I started that video with Circe by Madeline Miller. I had very high hopes for this. It was recommended by Elizabeth Olsen, and it's also by the same author as The Song of Achilles, which I loved a lot. I also DNF'd this book. I couldn't get through it. Incredibly boring. I just, like, what was the point? There was no storyline going on. It's like a Greek mythology thing about a girl. What's her name? This is how much I hate this book. Obviously her name is Circe, but it's like her and other gods, I guess. yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. I DNF'd it, didn't rate anything, but it's the worst book I've ever read in my life, and I do not recommend. Next book I read was The Hobbit. Surprisingly, I've never read it before. Like, I feel like I should have read it. This is like my type of story. It's what I enjoyed as a child, both like books and movies. I've never seen the movie either, which is crazy to me because I feel like this is exactly what I should be reading. I gave The Hobbit 3 stars. Now you might think that's low, but in my new rating system, 3 is like a good book, 4 is this is amazing, and then 5, love it more than anything. So 3 stars, pretty good. This follows the story of a hobbit named Bilbo. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, that's his name. Bilbo Baggins, Mr. Baggins, we're gonna go for that. He gets recruited, I guess, to a mission with some dwarves to go find a treasure from a dragon that basically the dragon stole from the dwarves. And then you see their story by going there, all of the challenges they meet and all of the people, and there's a lot going on. I did really like this book and I do recommend reading it, but it depends on what style of book you read or what you like. But I did enjoy this. Then I read one of my favorite books, Norwegian Wood. I did not think I was gonna like this. It looks so boring. It's about a man who looks back on his life and pretty much just tells the story about himself in university when he met a girl, and then there's like his current life with that girl, and also you get some of the story of another girl he met when he was younger, and then he kind of like his current lifestyle in the university with one girl and then going away to meet another girl, and he has like love for both of them but in different ways, and then there's just a whole lot of things going on. Did not think I was gonna like it, but it's the thing about this, like I feel like the story is something that I would usually hate, but it was so realistic, it was so real and so comforting, because it's like, I don't even know how to classify this. I feel like technically it's a romance book, but I just don't see this as a romance. I don't even know, it gave me so much comfort and I really enjoyed this book. For the first time ever, I wrote in it. Not a lot, but on the second half of it I was like underlining some things. A lot actually, I don't know if you can see that, I don't want to show you, it's personal. But anyways, first time. I'm not one to write in books, I hate when people write in books. I've started annotating now. A video is coming on that as well, me annotating my first book, because this, don't count this as annotating because I was just underlining a few things. And it wasn't intentional. I'm talking way too fast, I can't even get the words out. Then I also did another reading vlog, reading challenge this year, the past few months, and that was my 24-hour reading challenge. You should go watch that. I'm filming a new one pretty soon as well. But in that video, the first book I read was This Winter. I gave this book 3 stars. It's a pretty short book, it's a novella. Doesn't have that many pages, it's also got some pictures, it's like a graphic novella, I guess. I don't really know if that's how it's supposed to be classified, but that's the way I see it. And this is about Charlie, Tori, and their little brother. Don't remember his name. But anyways, you see their life. And I like that you get Tori's life and Charlie's life. I think this is kind of like a prequel to Solitaire, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the true actually, but I think it is. But I really like this as well. But I only gave it 3 stars because it's not long enough to actually have more. I also read Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I gave this book 3 stars. At times I found it a little bit boring, but I also think the concept of it is very exciting, and I did enjoy it, and I had every book in the series, so clearly I liked it. That might be because I bought the second one first, not knowing it was the series, and then when I was like looking into it I thought it was the first one, but this is the first one. And I do recommend it. It's about a cafe where you can time travel, but you have to sit in one specific seat. And you have 4 parts in this book. In each part, one person goes back in time. And then you see the lives of the people who owns the cafe and the people who work there, while also getting the story of the people going back. But what I really did like about this is that every story is connected in a way, not necessarily the people going back, but like you see, like one of the people who goes back in time is in the cafe while another person goes back in time, and I just liked that everything was like a continuing story. I'm really bad at explaining, so probably didn't even make any sense. And also the cover is beautiful. I really like it. Next book is one that I have had on my bookshelf for a really long time, so I really don't know why I didn't read it sooner. But it's The Witcher, The Last Wish. It's a collection of short stories in the Witcher universe. It's set before the first novella. No, it's set before the first novel, the first book. And this is a little novella. I am a big fan of The Witcher, the show, so I obviously wanted to read the books as well. This is the first one, and I really liked it. I gave The Last Wish 4 stars. Because it's not an actual book, it's a collection of short stories, I didn't give it 5 stars because I don't feel like that's enough to give it a 5-star rating. But it's just a bunch of different stories set in different times, different places, with different characters. All of it follows Geralt, the Witcher, obviously, but you see like him interacting with a lot of different people. My favorite story in this book is The Last Wish, because that's a pretty important one. Like you see it in the show, and it's a scene, I guess, that I really like. And it's also, I would say that story is very important for Geralt as a character, especially in the show. I haven't read the rest of the books, so I can't speak for them. But in the show, I feel like that scene is very important, because it's where he meets Yennefer, which obviously is something that means a lot to him. I also really like the voice of reason for and out. Might have been because I recognized that from the show, but also I really like the story, and I'm very excited to continue this series. Then I read the second book in the Before the Coffee Gets Cold series. I don't know if that's what the series is called. I don't even know if it has a name. But this is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. It's basically the same as the first one, just 4 new people going back in time. So yeah, I'm not going to speak too much on it. I gave this one 4 stars. I like this one better than the first one. That might have been because I am more connected to the story now. I understand it more. And also, I don't remember what it was, but I remember being shocked by something in it. That sounds incredibly stupid, because it meant a lot to me. There's a lot in there, actually, but I don't want to spoil it, because I feel like you should read it for yourself. But I love this book. I don't know how to say anything about it without spoiling things, but there's so many things in this that I just... Go read it. Go read it. Definitely. Just go read it. The last book I read in my 24-hour reading challenge is One of Us is Next. This is the second book in the One of Us is Lying series. I read One of Us is Lying last year at some point. I don't remember exactly when, but I did really enjoy it. That was a really good book, so I decided to read the second one, and I think I like this one more. I felt way more connected to the characters, and I also liked the characters better. This book follows Maeve. That's the right child, isn't it? Yeah, it follows Maeve, which is... Wait, I'm mixing the two of them up. Maeve is the main character in this book. Bronwyn is her sister, who is the main character in One of Us is Lying. Yeah, I think that's right. This is about Maeve. It follows Maeve, the sister of one of the baby 4... No, yeah. I'm very confused. I think that's what they are called, the baby 4, which is Bronwyn, Cooper, Emma, and Nate. So this book follows Maeve, Phoebe, and Knox. And there's some drama, there's some gossip. There's basically someone taking up the mantle after Simon and trying to create some drama in Bayview. A lot is going on, a lot is happening. You also get Bronwyn in there at times. You get more of Nate, which I really like, Cooper and Emma. So you still get the main characters from the previous books in the story of these people. And I really, really, really enjoyed it. So definitely go read it. I don't want to say too much about it. What did I rate it? I think I gave it 5 stars. I did. I gave it 5 stars. I have a note in case I forget something. Then, oh my god, the next book I read was Crooked Kingdom. by Leigh Bardugo. This is absolutely my favorite book ever. It's a 5-star read. This, I already loved Six of Crows, but this one, so much better. In the first book, Six of Crows, after reading that I said I didn't like Wylan. I thought it was pointless, but in this book I really love him. Every single character. I originally started reading this in the physical copy. Then I was at school because there was a meeting thingy. Didn't pay attention to the meeting because it was on Zoom and the sound wasn't working and a lot of good things going on, so I bought it on my phone. And I'm very glad I did, because I realized you can highlight things on Apple Books. So I went a little crazy, highlighting a lot of it after reading Mr. Casbreaker talking to Ines. Would you come for me? Yes, I would come for you. And if I couldn't walk to you, I would crawl to you. And I just... oh my god, I love them. I love them. I love them. And so I have highlighted a lot of this book. And I'm very happy I did so. Every Kanesh moment, every moment with Nina and Matthias. There's just so much in this book that I love. It's definitely the best one in the Grishaverse, and it's also my favorite book ever, of any book I've ever read, and I don't think anything is ever gonna beat it. If you take anything away from this video, let it be this book. Read this series. Read this book. The ending, which made me incredibly sad, but it also made me very happy because I feel like it was a good ending. And every little thing going on, it's so... This book is set right after Six of Crows. It continues their story, trying to deal with everything that happened in Six of Crows, which I really like that it's so... Wait. I feel like usually in a series it has like a big no. I feel like in series there's usually a quite big time jump between books, but in this it's not. It's right after. The stories are completely connected, and the questions I had in Six of Crows got answered in this one, which I really liked. I am very sad that this is the last book of the Crows, but it's a good story and the ending was perfect. Now, moving on to the last book I read in March. Another Leigh Bardugo book, King of Scars. I gave this 4 stars. This book follows the story of Nikolai and Soya. Nikolai is the king of Ravka. Soya is his general leading the second army. The book is split into 2, I guess. It's not like directly 2 different stories. Like, it doesn't start with one story and then it has a different story, but it's like every chapter is a name, and it's basically you either get Nikolai and Soya's point of view or you get Nina's point of view, which I like. I love the Crows. Nina is in this one. In the beginning I was a little confused and a little thrown off by the fact that they were 2 completely different stories and they didn't connect. It kind of did, because I'm just gonna say it. I don't think this is a spoiler, but Nikolai sent Nina on a mission, so that's why she's in a different place. So you see everything that she does and you see everything that Nikolai and Soya does. And I don't know how to say this without spoiling anything, but the thing that happened in this book, I was not expecting that. They were leaving the castle, going to talk to someone, and then they were in a different place. And then one of the people who was there, like, I didn't see that coming. They also, if you've read the book, you're gonna understand what I'm saying. They brought someone back to the palace. And that was not the person I thought it was. Because I thought it was like the person that was saying all of the things. And who was like being a little annoying. But bringing that person into the... I don't have any words. I don't know what to say. But that was something. I have 1 book left, and that is Rule of Wolves. And I'm so excited to read it. So I will be reading that pretty soon, because I cannot wait. But yeah, that's every book I read so far this year. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you're excited for the upcoming videos. Thank you. thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out, lovers.